Hello everyone, Andrea here with I Dream of Crafting. I'm going to be uploading a series of time lapses for the Halloween bags that I have decided to make kind of last minute for my craft fair, since I realized that my craft fair is October 25th and Halloween is the 31st. So I could probably sell these bags. So this is the image I'm going to be using for the next bag. It is a vampire. So yes, I am also going to be doing a witch and Frankenstein. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything else. Like, I know there's mummies and skeletons and a whole host of other, like, you know, Wolfman. I'm not sure exactly how many bags I'm going to make for the craft fair, because I'm honestly not sure how many I'm going to sell, since they are kind of expensive. So, but we will see. Wish me luck. So, this will be a time lapse on the vampire. Like I said, I'll upload more time lapses for the others as I do them. So I'm going to just do the image now, and then I'll make the bag later, because the bag isn't, you know, it's not hard. The image is going to take a little bit of time. So, the supplies you'll need for any decal or painting you are doing. Of course, your image scaled to the size that you want it. A cutting board, maybe a ruler, maybe a pair of scissors. I really never use those. A very, very, very sharp X-Acto knife. I always like to put a new blade in if I can manage it. And all the rolls of duct tape you will need. I need actually 5 for this, but I have one of the pieces cut out already of the glow-in-the-dark tape, so it'll be cool. And of course, your packaging tape, your clear tape. So, and I think that's it. Did I say cutting board? You need a cutting board. So, those are all the supplies, so let's get started. Alrighty, so we're gonna get started here by cutting out the, I decided to make a background for this, so to make it, I decided to make it like just like a big, what do you call it? A big sticker. So I cut out black tape, and I'm just going to trace around the perimeter of this picture to give the, you know, the border there, and then I'm going to stick everything, all the colors on top of this black tape. So it's just a big layering project, and I think that's how I'm going to do the Frankenstein and the witch as well. I'm going to do it the same way. So here I am just cutting out the perimeter of the image. Those ears, man. Those ears were fun. I really thought I would have to cut those ears off and place them by themselves, but actually the image came up in one solid piece. Even those little tufts of hair you see me cutting out, I was really, really happy that those, you know, that happened. So, yeah, so I'm just cutting off here, removing the matrix. It came off pretty well. Just a little bit of trimming to make everything, you know, nice and pretty. There's those tufts of hair. Which I realized really didn't matter, because once I put it on the bag's black and you can't really see them, but I'm happy that they came out though. So, getting that tape off. There we go. And the video says 22 minutes. This actually took me about 2 hours. This is 6 times normal speed. So, you see me there trying to figure out what I'm doing. I didn't have the skin tone. The skin tone was like a weird, I don't even know what it was. It was like a weird, like, blue. It was weird. So I just decided to go with gray. I figured that would be the closest thing that I could do, because I didn't want to do like pale, you know. So I'm like, it's a vampire, this hopefully will work. So I'm just gonna cut out the face, since you see that black line between the face and the ears, that makes it look like the ears are, you know, behind the face. So I'm going to cut out the ears by themselves. This I'm just doing the face, and I'm going to stick the eyes, the mouth, the fangs on top of this. So once again, this is kind of like just a really big sticker. And here I'm cutting tape because I didn't go low enough for the image. So I had to add a little piece there for the chin. But this image was just layer upon layer upon layer. But I'm really glad how it came out. I'm really happy with it. So the face goes away. Carefully set that down. Try not to break anything, which I didn't break it this time. I'm really happy. So just carefully, because there's some hairs on this side too. Not hairs, but cutouts where hairs would be. I'm just gonna let the black shine through, and it'll look like, you know, the black is framing the face. So carefully ripping this up. It gave me a little bit of trouble, and this gave me trouble. I ended up just rolling it onto itself and then, you know, unrolling it a little bit, you know, to get it centered, but once I got it, it was good. So we don't need that chin piece anymore, but I need the ears and I need the hair. So I'm just going to cut off the ears here, save the hair for later. So I was still deciding on colors, you know, how to do this, even up until, honestly, the last moment. So, like the hair, I was just going to leave the hair black, but as I was looking at the image, it just looked weird. So I ended up picking a color for the hair. You'll see that later. But that's one ear. So just to make sure, I put that back on, the image back on the duct tape, so I can make sure to get some, you know, it's centered. Because it's really hard to do pictures like this because you have that black border around everything. So, yeah, it's really hard to get that black border without, you know, having your image right there. I'm really happy with how this came out though. So, you see that I'm not cutting out the middle part of the ear yet, and you know, I was going back and forth if I wanted to cut it out of the silver tape, you know, and let the black shine through or what, but I ended up just deciding to just cut it out of a piece. So I didn't want to have to deal with the silver tape, you know, like breaking or anything, so I just decided to layer it. So lots of curves. This is a weird ear. I've never done ears like this before. It's weird, but it worked out really well though. I'm happy with how they came out. They look really close to the original. Peeling this up was a pain though. I should have probably switched blades because my blade didn't want to seem to cut very well, but I didn't. I kept with it. So all those little details there, those little swirls, that was a pain. What you could do is you could, you know, trim those off, cut off all those little swirls, place the swirls down first and then place that black line on top of it, but it actually came up in one piece. I was really happy and really surprised that those little filaments did not break. So that was a nice, you know, nice surprise to my night. This one was hard for me to do, and it took me a little bit longer because it was opposite the way I did the other one. I don't know why, it was weird. But this one took me a little bit longer, but it came out just as well. So, putting that down, and the long process of ripping up all that matrix. So, as I said in the video, or the entrance, sorry, I will be doing others. My next one will be Frankenstein. I'm doing that one because that one, the image I have for it isn't very complex, so I'm pretty sure I can crank that one out. Oh, that one broke. That's alright. I'm pretty sure I can crank Frankenstein out in probably an hour and a half at most, where this one took me a little over 2 hours to do. So Frankenstein doesn't have too many intricate details, so I can get him done pretty quick. And then after Frankenstein, I'm going to do the witch, and she's going to take me a little bit, so it'll be good though. I'm hoping to get Frankenstein done tonight, so with any luck, you're going to get 2 videos tonight. So here we are. I'm doing the hair. It was a last minute decision to give the hair an actual color, but I went with this brown because I thought that would be the closest thing, you know, the best color. So the actual image, it looks brown there, but that's because my printer is weird with color. So the actual image from the internet, the hair is like a really like a gray, but it's lighter than the gray tape, and then it even lighter gray highlights. So I decided to go with brown because I figured that would be okay, and I was worried about it when I placed it on the image, but once I got the image on the bag, it actually looked really good. So I'm glad I went with this color and not, I didn't want to obviously use gray because I'm using gray for the skin tone. That would just look weird. So I went with brown, and then I'm going to put, for the highlights in his hair, I'm gonna do white. So this one took me a little bit to center. I don't know why. I don't know. I cut it out the right way. I don't know why it wasn't sitting, but I put it on there. It looks pretty good. And here we're going to do the highlights, as I said, in white. I was debating whether to do them in, I'm still debating, honestly, whether I want to do these in glow-in-the-dark or not, but we'll see. I don't know. I gotta wait till it's dark so I can see how it looks lit up, and then I'll decide. But this was, these didn't come out I don't know why. The hair just was giving me trouble. So I cut all these out, and they should have fit, and they don't. And I don't know why. So I pretty much pseudo freehanded these. So I somewhat followed the guide, but then I ended up like enlarging some and then just placing them, you know, like that one I'm going to replace because it just doesn't line up. So I think I take it off and reposition it later. I don't know why the hair was just horrible. I don't know why. So I do like how it came out though. So yeah, there, I'm going to reposition it again. And there we go. So I'm just going to very carefully cut around the hair to release that white tape that hangs over, because I just want the white tape, you know, the highlights in the hair. You don't want to hang it over onto the black edge. So, but if you do that, sorry, my iPad. If you do that, just be very careful. Don't cut too deep. You know, don't cut so deep that you cut through what's underneath, you know, the tape underneath your highlights. So, and that goes with anything. If you have tape on top of tape and you're going to cut that first, you know, you're going to cut that tape that's on top of it, just be very careful. Just like doing wallets, cutting slits for your card slots on the wallets, yeah, just be very careful. So you can see we switched. For those highlights on the second side, I mostly just freehanded those and then cut them. So we're doing the eyes, and yes, the eyes are red, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. Like I said, even up until this point, I was still kind of deciding what I was going to do. I thought I knew what I was going to do, and then the image kind of morphed itself as I was cutting it out. So it was interesting. A lot of sitting there trying to think what I'm doing. So I cut out the backdrop for the eyes, and then I'm going to do, after this, I believe after this I do the actual eyes itself. This one didn't want to come up, I don't know why. So I ended up modifying the eyes as I went. So they're not exactly like the image, but I actually think they turned out better. So just cutting these out. It took a while because those swoops under his eyes, that took a long time to cut out. So yeah, just modifying here to make it look, make it look right. And now we gotta place these. So that little piece at the top broke off, so I just really quickly, placed that, and then I ended up just removing those little lines right there and placing them. Oop, sorry, there we go. I ended up just placing those little pieces by themselves because I knew they were gonna break. So there are the eyes. And now we're going to do the color of the eyes. As you can see, the eyes are red, but I'm going to use glow in the dark because something has to glow on this bag. So I figured the eyes were a good thing to make glow. I'm also going to make his teeth, his fangs, glow. I thought those were the best, two of the best things to use the glow in the dark tape for. So about 6 more minutes of this time lapse. Yeah, that little piece came off, but I just put it back. As you can tell, hopefully, that I'm actually I'm just cutting out the color. I'm letting the black underneath form that pupil for me. So I don't have to cut out another piece of black tape just to form a pupil. So, yeah. So I just made that. Now we're going to work on the mouth and then the fangs after that. So I decided to just cut out... Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's wrong. We're doing the nose this time. Right. I forgot about the nose. So the nose was real simple. It's just these kind of... almost like bat wings, which is kind of funny because it's his nose, but just little things, and these came up really well. I'm happy with how these came out. Real simple, just very carefully peeling that up, and then even more carefully peeling these up because these are really thin pieces. Remember, don't just pull these because you will stretch the tape and then they'll snap. So very, very, very carefully peeling those up, and I am very, very happy that they did not snap on me. And there's his nose. A little piece snapped off when I tried to take the paper off, but that's fine, just place it right back. Now we will work on his mouth. So the tape wasn't wide enough. Darn duct tape and their 1.88 width. I really needed that extra width, but 2 inches would have been perfect. So I decided just to do the fangs in the mouth, and then after this I have extra black tape lying around, so I'm going to use that extra black tape to do those little semicircles on the side of his mouth. And then I have all that extra tape from the center. So the fangs did not want to work with me, and that little chin area was very, very thin. So thin that I couldn't get it through the paper. So you're going to see me do a new technique here. I'm going to take a pen and just mark just a couple dots. I'm not drawing a complete line. I'm just dotting the start, the end, and the middle of where that was supposed to go, and then I lifted up the paper and put it there. So you're going to see me do that with his eyebrows later on in the video. It's a useful technique, especially for small pieces of tape where it's hard to get the duct tape through the paper image. So yeah, you're going to see that later. So here I have some leftover glow in the dark tape that I actually used. These are images, or these are tape. Bleh, sorry. This is tape that I used on the pumpkin, and from cutting out the pumpkin mouth, it gave me fangs. And so I just had to trim them a little bit to make them fit the image, and it worked out perfectly. So I'm really glad I didn't have to cut out any more glow-in-the-dark duct tape to make these fangs. So I cut out duct tape for the pumpkin, and I was able to use it for, you know, 2 images. The pumpkin and the vampire. And actually, I forgot to mention, the tape I cut out for the eyes, the glow-in-the-dark tape for the eyes, that was also from the pumpkin as well. So I was really happy. I didn't have to cut out any new glow-in-the-dark tape for this image whatsoever. I am very, very happy. That is what I'm calling. That is thrifty. So here are these little semicircles. Gave me a little bit of trouble since they are just so thin. But they look really good. I'm happy with how they came out. It really gives the mouth, you know, some closure. So here's his little, I guess, eyebrows. I don't know. I'm calling them eyebrows. They're kind of weird. But once again, you're going to see me use that technique. So I'm going to grab, yeah, that little piece fell off, but I'm going to grab not a knife, a pen, and I'm just going to dot through the paper onto the tape where the eyebrows should go, and then I'm going to cover that ink, those dots, with the duct tape so you can't see them. Alright everyone, that's the end of the time lapse. Here is our finished product. It came out a lot better than I was expecting, especially since, you know, I had to use gray for the skin color, which isn't too far off, but yeah, I had to make a little bit of changes as I went through, but I really do like how it came out, especially now that it's on the bag, surrounded by all the black. Yeah, I really do like it. So, in a few seconds, I'm going to turn off the lights and show you how it glows. And, yeah, so thank you for watching. If you like this time lapse, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the next video.